think your analysis was very straight line. History doesn't run in a straight line.
Kid, you cannot tell your neighbor he is stealing ducks when you are stealing frogs.
As High Commissioner, I was wrong. As Charandas Prasad, I reacted naturally how any person would have.
I did not come here for that kind of abuse. I did not come here for that kind of abuse. If you're going to go along that road, I'll walk off.
But it's all okay once they're talking. If they weren't talking, I could not have been here today.
You got ADHD.
I got that.
Calm down.
I think I've done enough in terms of taking our team out of trouble from losing.
Come on, Lou Taylor. That's good. I'm reading the script now, and the first person that comes to my mind to play a detective,
Yes,
but
the
an
Guyanese
erratic
Mickey
detective
Rodriguez.
is Mickey Rodriguez.
Why an African slap an Indian? Why a man and slap a woman? No, Gildarie, you deal with that. You deal with that.
We must encourage platforms like this because it brings together different people and allows for discussions to take place in our country on a multiplicity of fundamental issues.
Gildarie, you apologizing for something you think I did is wrong. I don't want you to do that, and you should not have done that.
Hi, good evening. Welcome once again to the Gildarie Freddie Kissoon show. We coming to you live. You could also get us on YouTube, Daybreak News, wherever you are. Good night, good morning. It's a pleasure. Tonight we'll be opening the lines in a short while. You know, every Friday night it has become routine now. Many folks have been joining us, a lot of them, especially from the diaspora. And it's so good to hear from our people. What is it that they feel about our country? What is it that they want to see as our country develop? How they would like to see Guyana in a modern society? So you can hold those calls. We're going to take those calls when the lines are open. Many things to talk about. I want to say good night to my co-host also. There's a lot of stuff that is happening in this country. The last couple of days, I would have had a cause to be out of the country. Then I came back, lots of work. Had to take a few nights off. This week, for example, we had to mount a screen at one of the malls. And it took a lot of night work, and sometimes I get off it and says, why the hell did I get involved in business if you had to work so hard? But when you would have seen the end product of what you and the team would have put out there, it's all worth it. And when you see also and understand that it's all part of the development of this country, that we could all play a role, it becomes even more worthy of our input. And for that in itself, I think it is not about the money, it's about your work, it's about your legacy. At least that is it for me. A lot of folks gather money, work their entire life, reach 60, 70 years old, and by the time then you're too sick to enjoy it. It is now time that you should really take time, sit with the family, go to the seawall like Freddie Kissoon, walk the dogs, breathe in the air a little, eat good food. There's a lot of fruits, enjoy this country, travel. If you're not able to see what this country is all about, stay in the bush a little, in a little hammock in the back dam. I'm going to stop here because there are a couple of things that we got to discuss, and I would want to be back and forth with Freddie before we open the lines because it's your night as usual. Freddie Kissoon, my co-host, good night.
Good evening to you, and wherever you are, based on time zone, as I've been saying the past 16 months. If you are in London, it has to be good morning. So good evening, good night, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome once again to our show, which has entered the 16th month. Then our Gildarie's methodology before we open the line is to reflect on a few things. Well, we want you to call us, so I'm not going to be too long so we can get the calls because people got things on their mind that they want to express. This program would not hold you back. At least I can speak for Gildarie, can speak for myself. I may not disagree with what you have to say, but the line is open. Say what you have to say. Maybe one reflection before we open the lines, or I go back to Leonard Gildarie. It has been announced that people with LLB will assist the prosecution in magistrate cases. Now, let me explain that to you because that's very important. It has been a tragedy before that. An LLB person is a person who passed the law degree at UG and then has to go on to Trinidad to spend 2 years so they become a practicing lawyer. So if you stop at UG and you graduate from UG with your LLB, you're a lawyer, but you cannot practice. What the government has done, they have now facilitated those lawyers, non-practicing lawyers, to assist the police prosecution in magistrate cases. And I can tell you this, it is an absolute atrocity to see in very, very important cases how the police prosecutor is just mauled, is just devastated, is just wiped out by learned lawyers. I had a case where 3 persons were accused of assaulting me, throwing a miasma substance on me. Kwame McCoy, Jason Abdullah, and whatever, I forgot his name, the guy who's supposed to be extrajudicial, a killer. That police prosecutor was abysmal. I had to, as in the witness stand, I had to object to some of the nonsense that was passing in court. That police prosecutor made not one objection. So at one point I say to him, aren't you going to object to that? And from that case, I learned that you can kill, you can rob, you can rape, you can burn down the city, you can put an elephant on the bank of Guyana, and if you're charged and it's a police prosecutor and the defense take a good lawyer, you're going to get off. You can get off in this country if you take a fine lawyer. There was a case the other day in which the judge said the police did not present the evidence properly. You know how many murder cases have been thrown out and people have lost their lives because big shot lawyers, well-learned lawyers, and you can't blame them. A person go to a fine-learned lawyer, the charge is $3 million, they have to defend their client. It is the mediocre prosecutor from the DPP's office. It is the police prosecutor that are afraid of these lawyers. In my case, I saw that each one of the defense had their own lawyers or some more than one lawyer. And that police prosecutor, Mr. Kissoon, what did you see? And when the car drove away, what did you say? And that thing, look, I just was glad for that case to finish. I was just glad. It was a mockery, and I think at one stage in the case, the magistrate said she read in my column where I had liked the song, the soft rock song by the Eagles, Hotel California, and she probably planned it the morning before she went to court. And she read out the lyrics of Hotel California and said to me, well, Mr. Kissoon, this is not Hotel California. And one of the lawyers was just flabbergasted. Those are the kinds of things that happen in the court. Now we have the LLB lawyers that will assist the prosecution. That should be welcome, and the government and the Attorney General should be given high praise, high, enormous, prodigious praise. That is my opening remarks. I hand you over to Gildarie, and we should open the line shortly.
Freddie Kissoon, you do happen to have raised a very important issue there. I used to cover courts when I was first at Stabroek, and then afterwards going from time to time from Kite News. There's no way you could compare the prosecutors to lawyers, or I'm not talking you, but anybody, and the caliber the capacity of what a lawyer could present. I don't think there's enough training. There were some good, decent prosecutors with good intentions, and some of them went on to become lawyers in their own rights. The problem is that the training...
When they were prosecutors, they weren't lawyers.
Yeah,
when they became lawyers, they learned.
But what was interesting to me, because we watch TV shows and we see what in New York City and in different parts of America, district attorney. And when you see the DA present case and how they go after case and how they'd love to win this case and put it on as a notch in the belt, because these guys have a whole lot of degrees and so on, but they actually go to win cases because it's what make them as district attorney, and some of them move on to become bigger things in politics and so on. But in Guyana, it is obvious that the court system is always going to be beaten. It's a broken court system. We've been trying to work with it. You're trying to put speakers and mics and recording, electronics and all kinds of things.
You were a court reporter for the Sabuk News at one time. You were in court to see when those lawyers get on the stand.
It's excruciating.
Police prosecutors.
It is crazy. But hold on, do you think that's bad? So the magistrate is there sitting, and so the man went out on the road, and the magistrate is right. I could not believe that in this day and age, even at the High Court, you go there. Freddie Kissoon, I have cameras free of cost for traffic in Guyana. You could actually monitor the traffic, those who don't know. We do that, our company do that as a public service to all Guyana, and we have thousands of people log in every single day to check what the traffic is like. Technology has become affordable. You could actually go buy instruments, recorders, and so, and it doesn't have to cost millions of dollars. When you see the government put up millions of dollars, I wonder where they go with all that money. Is it training? Sometimes I wonder. I actually got to go get to those tenders and have a look at it, because it amazes me. You could go on Amazon and all over the place, and technology is there, and there's software in addition to hardware that you could apply that could make this court system more efficient. But coming back to what you're saying there, yes, we're far way behind. We light years behind of what modern countries, what prevails in modern countries, and we have to start getting our act together if you want to be.
But it's sad though. It's sad. Life has no meaning when you can kill, and a top-notch lawyer goes in front of that court, and with his erudition and with his talent, you know that.
Well, you think that is bad? You know what I think is a significant injustice that we need to fix. A man, white collar crime we call it, go in and steal $20 million, $30 million, placed on $1 million bail. He walks up, maybe get a good lawyer. A man goes in, steal a couple of mangoes, 6 months. Are we serious?
Well, I can't believe that Jude Bentley, the famous cyclist, how he was killed. That car went over the median, and killed that guy. And Gary Best got off because the alcoholic, the breathalyzer machine was not calibrated. You could lose your life if a machine, you could be drunk to hell, and if the man who presented in court the alcoholic level, and he wasn't trained to use that machine, you get off. Another thing, some lawyers are so intimidating that they intimidate those new lawyers from the DPP office. You ever see what Rex McKay used to do? I see the CCJ has honored Rex McKay as one of the luminaries from the Caribbean. I'm going to write on that because I know what Rex McKay did in the Anna Rampasat trial and in the trial of Donald Rodney's brother who almost died in the car. But when Rex McKay opened his mouth, you know, those lawyers You can't have a police prosecutor with Rex McKay. He intimidates people.
So, but who you
he tried to intimidate me in court, and I almost tell him to F off. Yeah. He wants to intimidate me, so he sued. I was sued for by the Vice Chancellor University for libel. So here in front of the judge, he said, Freddie stole books from the library. So I said to him, listen, you jackass, you think that is going to intimidate me? And the judge was Raphael Trotman's father, Justice Trotman. Justice Trotman said, Mr. McKay, please stop it. And I tell the judge, no, leave him. I could deal with him because I could tell you a secret of what he did in Guyana stores when he was a young man in 1955.
I was never get quarreled.
In 1955, I know what he did. So that shut him up. But you could, those lawyers could
but
people.
Look. Rome wasn't built in a day, and I keep saying, I think we are having the conversation now. If a lot of people are complaining about the trucks on these banks, and we have to accept the fact that if you're building all this housing scheme, I think it was Minister Deodat Indar was here, and then a few nights back we would have had one
Wednesday night.
Yeah. So when you look at we're gonna take those calls shortly. This is important. When you would look at development in this country and some of the sacrifices and some of the fallouts from that, we have to understand that we are going to see the madness. What I find totally unacceptable, and the police and everybody, the authorities, have to take the blame for this, is when you have a man would drive a truck for somebody, and you're the owner of that truck. I'm not giving a hypothetical situation because I'm trying to dig into it right now. A man has no road license, no insurance, knock down somebody, and it's all well. I mean, which part of the world could you do that? I would throw the book at him and he has to spend, but guess what? The poor guy probably need to have a job, and somebody who owns a truck decide to do that. That person needs to be before the court as well. We cannot continue to have the same kind of attitude 20 years back. A developing country need laws, it needs regulations, and it need people who got to change the culture and stop giving bribes. Stop giving a police officer $5,000 or a ticket $1,000, a barbecue ticket because you believe you do something wrong. Start telling them no. Start calling Freddie Kissoon 6145927 because he love to listen to that. Can start changing our attitude. Our numbers are 231-2982, or you could call us on 637-1071. Let's hear from you. We can start changing our attitude tonight. Starting the change of this country starts with you. Don't complain to Freddie Kissoon and myself. Start doing something. By Jagdeo says something. He says you could call his office and call the president's office, and he's willing to listen to the corruption. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Go right ahead.
How are you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Okay. My concern, I have a few concerns here. I've been listening to you guys, and I've been hearing a lot of things happening in and around the country. And I was fortunate to be in the country for the CPL. And I see a few disturbing things that's been going on in the country. First thing first, my concern was is the roads in Berbice. On the roadways, there are so many hazards on the road. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. It's detrimental to one's life. Another thing that I observed, I was there in Bushlat, East Berbice. Mm-hmm. I was there in mid-September. They were fixing the road, breaking up the road to fix it. I leave there on the first week of October, and it was still unfinished. There was nothing to show or anything to deter someone that there is a construction on the road. And Gildarie, you as a guy who monitoring the road, you would know where I'm coming from. Like they're saying now, as tourists, you're allowed to drive on the road. There is no, nothing to tell you that there is something ahead. They had 2 buckets, I would say about half a gallon that was sticking with something on the road. The wind blows it down.
All right.
think there is no sign anywhere to show where you're going. Like say like I'm going to the Burger.
No, it is by regulations that you have to have those warning signs.
Well,
There's no warning sign anywhere.
well, I could tell you this.
Look, for example, I was driving on the new road, on the 4-wheeler road, on the new road that they built there.
This
There
is the
no sign
Mandela,
to show that
to
you're
Eccles
going
Road.
on to go to the East Bank, like say, from going to the Providence Stadium. There is no sign to say that where you're going, but because I know the East Bank and that road run parallel, I know if I turn right, eventually I will get to the East Bank. There's no sign anywhere to show where you're going, and if you're encouraging people.
Well, at the end of the day, boss,
how would we, as a newbie?
At the end of the day, look, I have a stance on that. Rome wasn't built in a day. This government is barely 3 years old. But I agree if somebody is to argue and say, look, these are things that we got to pay attention and start getting it right. You can't get it right 10 years from now. You have to start now. And I'm glad that these issues are being raised. Somebody has to take a lash. Yesterday, I interviewed Juan Edgel with the collapse of that Minister of Public Works and the collapse of that road at Providence.
I was walking.
Right. And, I asked him. Yes, I
was going to the cricket.
Right. I asked him, I said, so what happened here? How do you move on from here? And he says, Gildarie, we have learned some lessons from here. There will be lessons learned from this, what happened here. Because the ministry stockpiled some stones here, and somebody wasn't monitoring, or they didn't understand that if you continue to put plenty pressure in this particular area, it's going to go downwards and spread out. But thank you very much for coming through. You've raised some pertinent points there.
I have.
No, we gotta go now. We have other calls.
And I'm listening to the government and what they were saying. There's a few. There is another thing that the Alweather Road that was built in 58, 59. That's my neighborhood. It went to the end of the rice field, and it was meant to go further beyond. It's over a year. That bridge is still under construction to go over the other side. I went there. I look at it. I have pictures to prove to it because that's my neighborhood. It's over a year. Why is not the bridge built to continue that road?
Yeah, because you have people not monitoring the work, and you have contractors are doing a set of nonsense in this country. But boss, thank you for coming through. Thank you very much.
No, I'm not finished.
No,
you can't take
no, man. We have the calls coming in. Thanks for coming through. No, we have other calls.
To expose the government that they're doing.
You've exposed.
No, sir. Be reasonable. We have other calls. You've gone almost about 5 minutes.
Thanks a lot.
I know you're such an unreasonable person.
Good evening, caller.
Yes, I'm calling from Toronto.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Yes, so I just visited Guyana, came back 2 weeks ago, and some observation on the developments are going on very good in Guyana. But as I want to say concerning the contractors, I know the government wants to give lots of contractors these work, but you got to realize this is lots of money spending. You cannot take Freddie Kissoon to go build a road. You need export contractors, but you can hire Guyanese people. Honestly, lots of the work in Guyana is big time substandard. Everybody complaining about the East Bank Road, that's one. Going up to quarantine, you're driving on the road, it's like you're on a speedboat. There's no hole. The road is wavy. I know the government wants to share the work around, but I think that's a bad thing. Look what Dubai is doing. Dubai is hiring the best engineer in the world, but they're hiring their people. Freddie Kissoon cannot go build a house. He's a man for the university. And that is where Guyana will, I think, I'm a PPP, they will waste lots of money. That same road that they're building have to be built back 2 years from now. And Guyana doesn't have a 4 season where you have the snow and you have all these kind of things. This is all summer all the time. Next thing, Freddie Kissoon, on your end now, Guyana has to develop a lot on discipline. People are not courteous. In the bar, they're not courteous. On the minibus, they're not courteous. Public building, that's worse. They're supposed to be more educated. They're worse. And that kind of thing can drive a hindrance on foreign investors. You have to get disciplined. How are you, sir? How can I help you? Some of them will chew their teeth. I was at a concert at the concert on the mega concert. Susan Rodriguez was there in my area, and she asked one of the waitress to bring her drinks. The girl turned and showed her teeth and walked away. Susan said, "What? How these people are behaving like this?" And she is in government. So maybe they need to teach discipline.
We need to start changing our ways, boss. That's what we need to start doing. We need to change our ways very, very quickly. All right, anything else very quickly? Thank you very much.
No, that's it. I know my thing is wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming through.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I want to say good night to all our overseas listeners. It's always a pleasure hearing from you, talking to you. Good evening, Carlo.
Good evening, Freddie and Gildarie.
Sure, go right
It's
ahead.
so convenient that you guys opened with this topic tonight, and so sad at the moment. About a weekend, a few days ago, there was a shooting incident in Berbice, in the Williamsburg area. 2 houses away from the Rose Hall police outpost. Right? I was there at the scene like 10 minutes after the shooting. It's kind of relatives for me.
Yes.
And I was working at the other over. There's 2 outposts, the old one and the new one. I was working on the old outpost. So 10 minutes I've been there, and 2 buildings away from the new outpost where the police are there. Nobody turned up. I made a call to a high-ranking officer of the region, then got the CID, investigated CID to go to the scene. By the time that we already took the person that got shot to the Port Moran hospital. However, the suspect was being arrested a few hours after. After the investigation, whatever, the suspect took the CID to the area where they gun. These are information that is in the media. Okay.
Sure.
Took the police officer where the gun was hidden, whatever. The suspect was arrested and placed in the lockup. And after 72 hours, these are information that's in the media domain. After 72 hours, the suspect was put on $300,000 station bail. Shot somebody at the back of the neck, allegedly. Shot somebody in the back of the neck. The bullet came through next to the mouth.
That's the story with the girl?
Yes, exactly.
Yes. So you're trying to say you're raising the issue of this person being granted bail when he allegedly shot somebody.
Yes, for $300,000 station bail. But
you know the law is if you can't. If the 72 hours elapse and you can't put charges, you have to place them on bail, or you ask for an extension.
If you're a suspect,
you can ask for an extension.
For an extension, or you can release that person. When that person came out of the gate of the station, he can be rearrested and placed in another station lockup.
So where's that person right now? No charges or anything? Has the file gone to the DPP?
My main concern is the commander, the division for Mr. Shivakas. made a statement that the region does not equip to do ballistic tests and dusting for gunpowder. They sent it to Georgetown and they are awaiting results. How long does that take, my brother? These information are in the media domain. Something is not right, and we were told that the suspect relatives are a magistrate. One of his relatives are, I'm not going to call name, and one of his relatives is a high-ranking lawyer. The suspect also works as an engineer at the Ministry of Agriculture and is the head of the DNI.
All right, I think those are some very serious statements that you have made there, and it is extremely shocking. It speaks of for dragging by the police.
Brother, all these things are in the public domain. Anyhow, so that's why I'm saying it's so convenient that the topic with you guys open. Right?
Well, anyway, thanks for coming through. We need thousands more of information like that.
I think people are listening, and people are not going to continue to tolerate this kind of thing happening. People getting skin up all over the place now. Thank you for coming through.
Yeah, bro.
Freddie, people are getting really, really upset. Good evening, caller. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good evening. Go right ahead.
Good evening. I'm calling regarding the night you had Wanted Hill on the program. I know he was talking about traffic in East Road with the truck. And one thing he said was the minibus drivers or owners are paying the minibus drivers to bring home certain amount of money to them, but these minibus are speeding to make extra runs to make money for themselves. And likewise, the sand truck driver, they're doing the same, speeding on the road to make multiple runs. Suggestion is that why don't the government put a rule to have these truck drivers do certain amount of kilometers per day so they don't have speed with the number of loads they're making.
I thank you very much for that. You know, I was about to raise that issue there with the minister, but unfortunately we ran out of time. I think those container trucks, those things are monitored according to my information. If you pass certain hours and that thing is recorded, you could be charged, you could be fined, you could have your permits and so suspended. You have to pull in at one of those rest stops and sleep. And until you get your rest, or at least not drive that truck because the truck is clocking it. Do you know that some trucks, in addition to some of them, people not being licensed? This is crazy. Though some of them have been driving beyond 24 hours. How in God's name are you concentrating on the roadways when you have to make 10 trips per day or whatever trips per day that you're making? How are you going to keep it? How are you going to keep yourself on the edge and pay attention to the road?
You're too tired. You're too tired to drive on the road after that.
We need to move in that direction. Scales and a whole bunch of other stuff. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming through. Very, very good suggestion. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Good evening, caller.
Hello.
Yes, good evening. Please lower your volume, whatever you're listening to, please.
Yeah, very good evening.
Sure.
I just have a growing concern within our country. Guyana will be celebrating our republic status next year, February. And today's date is the month of October. This is the month of October, and as a Guyanese, have not heard anything about our Republican status, preparations, etc. And entertainment is a part of development. That's one of the biggest art form in Guyana. We have a culture, Ministry of Culture. They don't have any meetings. They don't have, you call them, They don't have any time to speak with anyone pertaining to this art form, how it can be developed. And it just pushed back. Carnival now take over. You're hearing Carnival almost whole year or for 6 months before the preparation. The mashes was here, more mashes here for since I know Guyana.
Uh-huh.
And today's date, this is the month of October. We got less than 5 months or 5 months to celebrate our Republican status. And we heard anything, not even the papers, pertaining to preparation, to give Guyanese, to give companies, to give the government a part to showcase this country in the highest form. So that's just my concern, and I would like to know that this program here, it can use as a platform to open the eyes of the relevant authorities there.
Well, I hope that they're listening. I have to ask you a question. I'm not sure if Freddie would want to. I have seen and heard criticisms over the last 3 years, and I paid very close attention. And there were a lot of comparisons being made, especially with our oil money, to developed countries. Do you think it's a fair comparison to say do you think it's putting a lot of pressure? Is it too early in the game that we should be like developed countries? Remember, we were a country that was in deficit of resources because we didn't have the money. We now getting the money. Is it too early? Are we asking the government too much? What do you think? Well, what are your thoughts on that?
So, since before Guyana became oil and gas and etc., Mashimani was being celebrated in a wide range of forms.
I remember that, yes.
Right, and we didn't have oil money. Probably we may have some backside money, etc., shipping wrong and bus.
But we enjoyed ourselves and we made do of what we had.
Yeah, and this used to celebrate with all the 6 races. And today's date, I'm gonna be honest, Mashamani, the government start looking after Mash in the month of February for the 23rd. Next thing you know, they've seen good costumes, they've seen this. These things take time to prepare. I'm a graduate from the Borough School of Art. Art is very good. It's an entertainment to our people. That is a part of development.
All right, I think the many persons who would have been watching here, both locally and overseas, I could tell you that they would have their thoughts on this, but we love your input, and this is what our country and this is what this program is all about. Thank you very much for coming through.
Thank you so much, sir.
Bye-bye. Good evening, caller. Hello. Well, I think we lost.
Hello.
Good evening, caller. Hello. Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes.
Good evening. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, you got to put your mouth a little closer to the phone and speak up.
Okay, are you hearing me?
No, we're not hearing you very clear.
Are you hearing me better now?
Yeah.
Yes, go right ahead.
Okay. I'm listening to the show, very interested with the overseas Guyanese that calling. And, when they come back to Guyana, nothing is not right for them. And they're living they're coming from the most filthiest city. That's New York City. There's prostitution all over New York City right now. And you know what the governor, they had some meeting, some talk about it. You know what they say about prostitution now? With all the illegals in the country, all the Spanish women? Let me make prostitution legal. The most filthiest city these people coming from, and they got a lot of talk about Guyana. Like you said earlier, we're only 3 years old.
But let me ask you a question, because what you're speaking there is the very heart of our diaspora. Is very important to Guyana. We have lots of families sending money for their families across here, and a lot of the Guyanese have families in New York they visit very often. Do you believe that the diaspora has a role to play in the development of Guyana? It will be a fundamental question. And should they have a right to speak about the development in Guyana?
But wait a minute, sir. Wait a minute. I think I take your point, and your point is valid. It cannot be argued against. People come from countries where the sheep roam on the road and mess up the road, and then they come to Guyana and they complain about that. I take your point. In the subway, it's very, very dangerous to ride the subway late at night in New York. But that doesn't mean that when they come here and they see things, they shouldn't complain, because it's only when you air a complaint, then it will be resolved. If nobody knows that there are 10 dead animals on the road, we would know, the authorities would know to go and clear it up. I think that the two moral points are taken. Your moral point is, you're coming from a place where you have that kind of situation. That's a moral point that's taken. But on the other hand, it's a valid moral point to say, I come back to Guyana and I see these things. I don't think you can really knock them for these observations.
I'm not knocking them like that. I'm knocking them on how they want to put it over. Like, everything must be perfect. First thing, we got a lot of oil money. We don't have a lot of oil money right now. We only 400,000 barrels of oil coming up right now, and we got a lot of bills. We had no infrastructure in this country for years. We had no road. I'm 72 years old, and the only road I know from the airport to Stellan is the road. Now we're trying to get roads in there, and the overseas people, they're not patient. Like everything's supposed to be holy and glory.
Well, you've raised some good points there, and I agree. On one point, should we be a little more patient?
I live in New York City. I live in America. I live in Texas. I live in Chicago. I spent a lot of time in Georgia. Spent a lot of time in Florida, in the Florida Keys. America is no place right now. There's places in America that you go. The people like zombies.
No, your point is taken.
Right.
Your point is taken. I think your point is taken. We in this part of the world, the Caribbean, Africa, Central America, the power of the United States media have presented the United States as a serious place of development, of moral righteousness. I mean, 50 years after independence, the third world people are still bombarded with these misrepresentation of the American media. Your point is taken. I mean, no.
Right. Okay. One more thing. The guy from Barby's called and talked about the young lady gets shot in the back of the head, and he was on $300 bail a couple hours and 2 hours later. Right? I'm not saying, I'm not knocking that. But like Gildarie explained, right? And then the guy said, allegedly, right? 72 hours come, 73 hours come, and they don't have a charge. They got to put the guy on some kind of bail or let him go. In New York City, they have no bail. You could walk in a store and take $950. Target closing stores, this one closing stores, because the people just walking in and taking the people's stuff.
Yeah, we all know that. We've been reading about it. Look, your point is taken.
All over America.
Your point is taken.
All over America. But everybody wants to make Guyana that bad. I'm not saying this. Look at here. I don't like when I get to Pocketies. When I get to Pocketies, I turn back. I can't go further, and I don't like that.
Your point is taken.
All right, thank you very much for coming through. Thank you very much for coming through, sir. And
thank you for listening.
Yes,
thank you for listening.
Yes. So if
by the way, like I mean, he's
No,
hitting
it is.
but he has a point.
It will always be.
He has a point. I mean, take the.
I believe because of the number of Guyanese, and I know the connections that our diaspora have.
No, but sometimes they overdo it. Take the oil critics. A lot of the oil critics live outside, where the fossil fuel industry have made their personal lives what it is, and yet they come here and tell us get out of fossil fuel. Anyway.
Let's see, there's a call coming through. Good evening, caller. Hi, good evening, caller.
Hello. Look, this
the last one. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Gildarie and Freddie.
Yes, good evening.
I have an issue here. I live in Zillat Scheme over the river.
Zillat Scheme, East Bank Esquebo.
Yes, East Bank Esquebo.
Yes.
Now, this is a lot which I get from government. I took my loan, I built my house and everything.
Good lady.
Hello, I didn't get that.
I said you're a good lady. You're an ambitious person.
Yeah. Now, my problem is that someone went and they built a pig pen on the government reserve, and this is right back of me. And this thing is smelling. I went into the NDC, RDC, EPA, reported, and nothing is happening.
Well, Gildarie and I went to South Rumfeld a few months ago. A guy complained to us from GT&T that right next door to him, people are rearing chickens and it's smelling. And we went there and we talked to the neighbor and say, look, you have this thing right next to the man's place. I hope, Gildarie and I didn't go back, but I hope that is solved. But you can't have a pig pen next to somebody's house.
Let me tell you how. You've raised a point there. I heard Minister Juan Edel tell us a story. The government announced that they're going to build some roads.
And a
man decided, you know what? They're going to build a road there. I go in and preempt them. Preempt is a nice word, right?
Right to the roundabout.
Yeah, he decided to go build a house there. Now, you can't go move the man there because the man got expectation now. He built right in the middle of the road there, and you can't just move the man. So you got to go give the man a house. Maybe.
Gildarie knows
that is a lawlessness that happens.
Hold a sec. Gildarie's number is on the phone. He knows the EPA head, and the EPA has been listening to these programs. Maybe call Gildarie and let him send the EPA.
Call me tomorrow and get a number for you for the EPA.
Okay.
And you tell Mr. Parser I'm a very approachable person. I've always raised issues with him and I've seen him take actions. I know there's one action that the EPA can solve. Some man got the body workshop next to two citizens and they're doing a set of crazy things, and so is the EPA throwing the backs to the people that went back again and started the business, and nobody can stop them.
They charge, I think the EPA charge $3
million. Yeah, it is crazy. This country here.
Anyway, call Gildarie.
Call me. And
Thanks for coming
take it from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. 231-2982, or you could also call us on 637-1071. It's good hearing from you guys. Freddie Kissoon, we have so many Guyanese, good Guyanese, they want to see this country develop. You believe there's complaint too much?
I think it's only through complaint that things are brought to the attention of people. I've always said that if you go into GRA and you go into GPL, I'll tell you something that happened to me. There's a phone.
Yes. There's a phone. Good evening, caller.
Hi, good evening, guys. It's one of the most interesting program I would have experienced tonight in connection with the people that are complaining and whatever. And I heard yourself and Freddie would have touched on the point that BJ and the president would have asked people to reach out to them.
Yes, he said. I think it's Mr. Jack Dio would have said, call my office, call the president's office if you have evidence or anything, and we're gonna act on it. So don't sit on it.
Okay. I personally have the greatest of respect for Dr. BJ. I I'm not sure if I do have the same thing for Irfan, because Irfan is not somebody I know too much. I know BJ very well. However, I am going to challenge you guys tonight with those two big boys from the offices to keep up their promises on the challenges of people complaining about corruption, because I can tell you what, Guyana is corrupted, buddy. It is.
You would not believe it. You want to see some 20-something-year-old engineer drive some BMW and you see the houses and things like that. Some of them got houses for the side chick and things like that. You want me to tell you more?
Buddy, I can tell you this. I've met some custom officers who are living. I've been living in North America for a little while, and I see some custom officers whose houses make, whose bathrooms make my house look like a small place in America.
But hold on. Wait. Custom officers living in Guyana?
How you mean? Which country you live in, buddy?
Yes.
But hold on. You see the problem that you have, right? Guyana is a pretty small place in terms of the population. We have 3,000 square miles. Just I think we must have met about 1 million people now. But everybody know where Freddie Kissoon lives. Everybody probably know where Gildarie lives. And you know the kind of car that he's driving. And if you see Gildarie go drive a Mercedes and he walking by Kaiser News or wherever he walking, his salary can't take it. The thing that will raise their eyebrows, and everybody knows what is happening in the place, who taking bribes and things like that. Intelligence-driven operations by the police and by the corruption advocates. It's very easy. Everybody knows what is happening.
Right, but then, but again, as my initial comment is, I challenge the vice president and the president to address these things,
Yeah, but the people out there got to complain to the people and put it to the test case. Call Jack D or whoever, Mr. Finale, and say, sir, or call his office and say, this is the case and put it to the test.
You said, sir, you said you challenging the two big guys. And then in the same breath you say you know what's going on. Send the stuff to Gildarie and I. Don't come on the program and say, look. All
right, I sent stuff to you, Freddie Kissoon, in connection with the engineer that is living out in St. Vincent and Grenadine, and nothing was addressed up so far.
No, that's a different matter. He hasn't. I reached out to him. He owes me a response. But that's a different matter. That's a person who wants to donate his service to Guyana or be facilitated. We're talking about corruption of the character of public officials. And you said
hold on. Isn't it corruption doesn't play a part with the fact that this is a guy that went back there to show off his skills, and he couldn't get a job. Compliments of not being a part of the big boys in the.
But that's a different matter. We're talking about corruption that saps the financial fabric of the state. We're talking about corruption in which.
No, but that was general. That was more of a general statement, though.
That thing about a man not getting a job. And
I think, look,
that's
Freddie,
different for a custom officer taking money from people.
Carla, I think what is important, I think what Freddie is trying to drive at, and I think I would want to agree, this is what I believe he's saying, is that we all have evidence. We see, let us do something about it. Let's all sit down and hope that Freddie...
But hold a sec. So, you have evidence of state officials, whether big or small, engaging in financial enhancement that
taking bribes, sir.
You have evidence of that. You said Guyana is corrupt. Your opening statement is Guyana is corrupt, and you want the president and vice president to stick to their word. They could only
I was responding to you and Gildarie saying that if there is corruption that is noticeable, call us and we'll address it.
No, but you said in your statement, and you could go back. You could go back when the program is finished and look at what you said. You said you hope those two people stick to their word, what have you. They could only do that if people like you come forward. Now, you don't have to come forward because of fear of this or that, but you could send the stuff to Gildarie now.
I'm not fearful of anything, Freddie. I live in the States. I'm not fearful of anything. I don't depend on the government of the day or the government of the past for anything.
Right, so you're in an advantageous position. You're in a protected position to give us the stuff. Well, listen, we could only know about these things when people come forward.
But you've raised a very good point. We got to start growing some balls. I'm being very liberal with my words. Start growing some balls and start standing up for this country. We say we love this country. I love Guyana. I love this country so bad, and we sit down and see the nonsense that is happening. Nothing.
There was a euphemistic term. There was a euphemistic term for that. Testicular fortitude.
I ain't gonna say that. We need to grow some balls.
I agree with Leonard totally. Because I'll tell you what, as I said, I've said many times on this program, tonight and many other times, I should not be concerned so much about Guyana, but you know what? My heart is in Guyana.
Well, we have to all join hands and start fighting and weeding out all these, I wouldn't say, these nasty characters who continue to bring this country down.
The 2020 elections made me from a few black hair to a total grey hair.
Freddie Kissoon, that would have happened to Freddie Kissoon too. Thank you very much for coming through, Carlo.
Take care, guys. I love you guys, man. Bye.
Thank you. 231-298 or 637-1071. Let's hear those calls coming through. Very interested tonight, Freddie Kissoon, and it's good that we have more people.
He did say that he hoped the two senior government officials, the president and vice president, stick to their word, but he has to provide.
Yeah, people got to stand up and do it. Good evening, caller. You got to lower the volume. Lower your volume right away, please. Whatever you're listening to.
You're listening to the program.
I was listening to you on Freddie there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why we need to build so many hospitals, and the hospital we have in Guyana do not have drugs, they do not have doctors. People got to go there and wait for hours.
Which hospital you went to, and how bad was it?
All the hospitals. I was in Guyana for the CPL. And somebody mentioned about the Bushcat Road. I'm living in Bushcat.
No, let's talk about the hospital. Let's talk about the hospital. You went to hospital while you were in Guyana?
No. What I'm saying, the complaint I'm hearing on the program about the hospitals. Skellen, Port Moran, Amsterdam.
Right.
East Coast. Myconi.
Uh-huh.
All the hospitals, it's problems, and we
No, but you okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
They want to build 4 more modified hospitals. Why do not look after the old hospitals first before building new hospitals? So people can have drugs and have attendant.
No, but there is I'm not going to dispute someone coming and say there's no drugs. I have had taken people to the Joshua Hospital, and I've seen some areas of wanting, but I've also seen great help at the hospital. But you open a hospital also in areas where people don't have medical facilities, and you can't stop a government from doing that.
We have a hospital in Amsterdam. Why you want to build a hospital in Palmyra?
That is a private.
Why do not update the same?
No, that's a private hospital.
That's a private hospital. Let me ask you a question. You're living in America. You know of any free hospital there that give out care without any insurance?
I have insurance, but I'm coming home every single
No, I'm asking you a simple question, boss. You know of any hospital in New York or wherever you live in there, I presume it's New York, that operates free that the people could walk in and without any insurance or anything get through and has no obligation to pay?
Only the homeless people.
And a country that has so very little resources like Guyana.
Homeless people
now moving to that direction.
Homeless people don't get free.
How expensive you believe drugs, the drug business is? I'm just asking a simple question. All over the world. It's one of the most expensive thing. In fact, if you
very expensive.
so you got to understand, a country that has very little resources, yes, you get in the oil money. The question will always remain, where do you put that oil money? Do you put it in making more roads, a new hospital, a new airport, and two new harbor bridge?
I don't think we need so many hospitals.
No, but the
Just
thing
complete
is,
the new ones.
but the thing is, the one that's being built at Palmyra is a private hospital. I think it's a sheriff company. The sheriff people are building there. You can't stop the people from building the hospital if they want to do it.
And then want to build a stadium there too.
Well, what is wrong with the stadium going in Barbados?
What that has to do with hospital, the stadium?
We got Albion Ground, we got Port Marion Ground.
Could that be able to expand and put the kind of stadium? Does it have the space?
Leonard, you ever went to Albion Ground?
My brother, I toured all over this country. I'm very familiar with those areas.
7 stands there, 7 big stands.
So you're saying it could have the stadium kind of situation with all the parking and everything that would lead
to
toward.
What will happen if they build a stadium at Palmyra? Albion is going to go flat.
No, sir, you're talking two different things. Let's talk. Let's talk.
Millions of dollars.
No, but you're talking. Don't get confused. Don't get confused. If you're talking Albion, could Albion hold the kind? Let's say you have T20 cricket. India's coming to Guyana and decide to play there, and you have the kind of parking. Could Albion withstand the kind of? Does it have the space for the infrastructure? Could you hold a cricket matches of international standard there? Do you have enough space which it could have the stadium kind of seats down there? I'm asking. I don't think so.
I will agree with you on that.
Well, you see, we got to think back. We can't act on emotions. We got to talk about what is real and what is realistic.
I will agree with you on that.
Right.
But
I hear what you're saying.
I want to mention one more thing. The signs on the roundabout. They need to put signs.
I agree with you. People don't know how to use a roundabout.
People know to use the roundabout. They just don't care.
Friday, I was coming back on Friday, and my driver take me into the housing scheme.
You have a driver? You're lucky. Freddie Kissoon will be my driver for the night.
The man has a driver.
I just kidding you.
He take me to the housing scheme. I was like, where are you going? I'm not a tourist right now. I'm heading back home.
All right. I hear what you're saying.
I get something for Freddie.
A lot of people got something for him.
Yes?
Do you still need a Walkman?
Yes, I do.
Oh my goodness, you're a greedy big man.
But guess what? Gildarie went to New York and he came back and he bought 4 for me. But they don't last long. Yes.
No, but you're gonna buy the Panasonic or the Sony.
Listen, they don't last long. A guy comes on the air and say, Freddie, do you need a Walkman? Am I supposed to be so arrogant and say, no, I don't need a Walkman? I've never been an arrogant person. Yes, sir, I need a Walkman. And to be honest, Gildarie bought 4 for me 2 weeks ago. But they don't last long.
Why would you spend $100 when you could spend $50 to get something proper and then you're going to spend $100?
Since you guys started it.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much for coming through. You got some other calls. Thank you.
Gildarie.
Thank you, sir.
so much,
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
You guys did a great job.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you all doing?
Pretty good, sir.
Yes. I have provisions. Albion has no space for parking. I used to be a scorer there.
I know that. I'm familiar with it here. Yeah.
Palmyra is the
I think so too.
stadium of the future.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I like Palmyra. You know when I look at Palmyra and you just hitting over the bridge here, it's wide open expanse.
My sister
A
lives
lot of stuff could happen
It's
here.
going to be a great legs in the cricket. Earlier, I wanted to talk. Callers talking about health and so on. This year, I've been ill 3 times. Seriously. First, I had typhoid around April. Then in June, I got COVID during PPP rally. Then I got typhoid again. And all 3 times, I went to Balwan Singh, and I had excellent treatment. Excellent. All the nurses, whether they were foreign nurses or local nurses, and whether they were foreign doctors or Guyanese doctors.
That might be
treatment.
That might be the case.
So far, I managed to remain healthy since then, since I come to Balwan Singh. I've been ill on and off for the last 10, 12 years, hospitalized at Mercy. Good there too. I've never been in the public hospital. I wouldn't be able to speak about that. But the private private hospitals, I went to Woodlands, I went to Mercy, I went to Balwan Singh. All excellent. And I suppose maybe the Lenora one will, it has a lot of Cuban doctors there. So at least the private sector, the health care is good. The Johnson Hospital got over 700 doctors, so they're supposed to be improving. I think with all the other hospitals going to come on stream, they will also improve given time. The other thing, yesterday, President Ali went to the West Bank and very early in the morning, and he visited the shore-based wharf at Neem, I think, which was built by Geico.
He was a guest there last week. Yeah.
Excellent structure. And then last week, and then he went to the site. But I was surprised that like the chief engineer there, who gave him the tour, is a former United States Army captain. She served for about 15 years all over the place. Captain Tara Marie Pearson, a civil engineer. So it all seemed to be foreign engineers that were speaking to the president. So it looks like they got things under control there, But they've got over 500 Guyanese working.
No, we got some good Guyanese, and they're very smart business people. They're looking.
The lady that was in the army, she's a Guyanese person.
No, she's a Caucasian.
Oh, okay.
But she's been here like for a couple of years now with one of the companies that's involved.
Okay.
I think there are two companies, CH4 something, and some other company.
Well, if Mr. Singh is listening to this program, the owner of Geico, he did say on the program that he has vacancies for engineers, and he gave his cell phone number out. Now, one of the engineers called me and said to me, they called him 3 times. He's probably a busy man, but I know he looks at this program. If he's listening to this program, there is an engineer who wants employment, and he said he called Mr. Singh 3 times. But I understand Mr. Singh is very busy. So I suggest if Mr. Singh could get hold of me, and we could facilitate
I think a lady had called her about a week or 2 back. She says she's an engineer and couldn't get a job. Peter Lewis, a contractor from Berbice, he offered. And then I think I got a call from the ministry. Was it Ministry of Education or Ministry of Health yesterday? And they said if you could find that lady, because I'm willing to offer a job right now. The people are banging on doors because we have need of skilled people. The vacancies are there. The vacancies are there.
Like in America, where you go to agency and you put in your resume and stuff, and then they find a job for you within a couple of days.
I wanted a welder, and I couldn't find a welder this week.
Yeah.
I could not find a welder this week. You imagine? If you got to hear the money that you got to pay a welder per day.
Yeah.
Well, you can't weld it yourself.
I can put you for welding, Freddie Kissoon.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming through there, boss. Bye-bye. So it is 231-298-2637-1071. Let's get those
quickly. If there's no call yet, quickly just to make an announcement. Please tune in on Monday. We have an interesting perspective. 2 very, very learned Muslim scholars will be discussing the Palestinian issue. Monday, tune in to hear another version of the Palestinian predicament. That's Monday. Anyway, there's a call.
Good evening, caller.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Mr. Freddie and Mr. Gildarie.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
I'm calling all the way from Florida.
This is not far, man. This is just over there for 5 hours away.
Region 13. You're calling from Region 13. You're calling from Region 11, no? Region 11.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yes, I have a problem with the legal system.
In Guyana?
Because I'm overseas. Yes, I'm overseas, and I have a property I sold to a guy in Leopold Street. I gave him a bargain on 2017, for $3 million, half lot. He only paid me, he put $500,000 down, and he gave me over the years $1 million. He owes me $2 million. I went back in 2011. So 2021. Only to find that the guy got the transport in his name, and he put up 2 structures in it.
No. Something's wrong there. You have to take a lawyer. The government, the attorney general, is very serious about that.
That's fraud.
There's been too much fraud. The transport.
I texted Adal.
The transport.
And he said to take him to court and get him locked up.
No.
It's not a civil matter. It's a criminal matter. It's not. You lapse because transport could only pass in the deed registry when he provides the other 90%. He lodges 10%, and then on the passage of transport, he has to give you the 90%. If he doesn't do that, it's a criminal. No. When next you come into Guyana, it's a criminal offense. It's a criminal offense.
Mr. Freddie,
Yeah.
I went and I saw Miss Bash, who's in charge of the...
Yeah, Azina Bash, yeah.
Yes, and
She's
she called and I showed her this as 2 transports. The one that I have in my name. And the guy got one 2021 January.
What did she say? What did Miss Bash...
That's wrong. She told me to go to CID and get the guy locked up.
I know Miss Bash.
And also to reclaim my property.
Miss Bash is a very decent woman.
Did you go to the CID?
No, I didn't go.
So why you didn't go?
To send money by April. It's acceleration.
When are you coming to Guyana?
I want to come this month. The end of this month.
Okay, you have my cell phone is 614-5927. I thought Miss Bash at UG, Miss Bash is a very decent, concerned woman. Let's go in and see Miss Bash. Robbing people of their property is a heinous criminal offense. And I know the AG is very, very serious about that. And what he did, he piloted legislation in the National Assembly to change this thing about power of attorney. How people are going to quickly fake a power of attorney and get your property. Come to Guyana.
That's exactly what he did.
Get him locked up. It's up to you to get him locked up. Get him locked up.
Contact Freddie. Freddie got some contacts.
614 5927. 614-5927. My email address is very simple. Everybody in the world can spell Fred. F-R-E-D, Fred. Every Guyanese can spell Kissoon. Kissoon. My email address is fredkissoon@yahoo.com. Thanks for coming through.
Thank you very much. Right. Freddie Kissoon, you know how much lawyers, how much justice of peace, and how much court,
you can't rob people.
officials. Hold on. You know how much legal people, court officials, justice of peace, and lawyers involved with the fraud is a big, big problem in Guyana. You hear some of the stinking stories.
Do you know there was a lawyer anyway?
Let me take them callers. Come. Good evening, caller. Hello.
You got to lower your volume.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Gildarie. You was talking about if anybody getting free health care in the U.S. Yes, they have public hospital.
No, that's not true. There's no public hospital in the U.S. Sorry.
Yes. Queens General Hospital. It's a public hospital.
Uh-huh. Is that the only one in the entire state that you know, or there's more?
And it depends on your income. You have free
No. There's a condition you said right off the bat.
You know the hospital?
Could you walk into that hospital without showing any documents and get any help?
Yes.
That's misleading. That's misleading.
No, Queens General Hospital. It's on Queens Boulevard in Queens.
All right. Do you know of any?
Maybe it's not a hospital.
No.
Maybe it's
My
not a
question
hospital.
to the gentleman. You know of that one hospital. Do you know of any other hospital that does that?
I had a son that born premature, 1 pound 3 ounces.
Yes.
He was in Mount Sinai for 6 months until he gained 5 pounds. Then they let him out in the hospital, and I didn't pay a penny.
All right.
No.
In a country, if you want to, but in a country like Guyana, do you think Guyana could afford free health care with all the benefits that is comparative to what Mount Sinai or the Queens hospital is offering? Do you think that's possible?
No, the Gildarie, the issue
No, I'm
is...
asking. It's a fair question.
No, what he need to understand is that his son got that treatment. But that doesn't mean the Mount Sinai, you know Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai is not a free hospital. That's one of the more known hospitals. There is one of the complaints against the United States as a country. That is why you had Obamacare. Obamacare came in so that people could at least get some form of medical treatment. Look, I don't know about the hospital you're talking about. I know about Mount Sinai. That is not a free hospital. Absolutely so. Whatever.
No, it's not, and it's not a public hospital. But Queen's General is a public hospital.
I don't know about that.
But you see, I don't want us to miss the point which is on the table here. This country does not have money that is unlimited. It is finite at the moment. You cannot look at that and then look at America and say, look, we don't have something proper here. I think one of the biggest budget would be public works, education, and health. Those are the biggest ministries. And if you see the amount of money that is spent on the drugs, you could very well argue it's not getting to the people. But guess what? You cannot make the comparison.
But we could Google that hospital. What's the name of the hospital?
Queen's Medical.
Queen's
General.
We're gonna Google that. Queen's General.
All right.
I've never heard about that.
But thank you very much for raising that with us. But I'm almost sure that is not consistent right throughout the entire the entire United States.
It's not. It's not.
That's one of the most.
Not in the whole United States.
Yeah.
Okay,
you're not going to find a lot of
through.
hospitals like that. Thank you very much for coming through, boss. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
I've never heard about a hospital.
Good evening, caller.
Hi, good evening, Freddie and Gildarie.
Good evening.
I'm just calling concerning that caller that's saying that Queen's General Hospital is a public hospital. It's not a public hospital.
I know, madam. I know. There's no public hospital in the U.S. U.S. would not tolerate that.
You don't have insurance, and you go there, they won't refuse you. They would accept you.
They would accept you.
But then you get a bill eventually. And if you're an American citizen or a resident and you sign up for insurance, like you got Medicaid, they would cover it eventually. Like, they would help pay for certain things, but then it don't cover for everything. Like Cohen's Children's Hospital, Long Island Jewish, and all those hospitals. Yes, there's a different type of hospital compared to Queen's Hospital and Jamaica Hospital. It's a different kind of,
Them send you a bill. They always send you a bill. I remember.
Exactly.
I remember a prominent politician in Guyana here. He wasn't probably all that big thing. A politician in Guyana went to do eye surgery or whatever it is, a procedure over there. And he went back a couple of years to get his visa. And they asked him, did you have a medical procedure being done in the United States? He says, yes. They said, did you pay the bill?
Exactly.
And you know what happened to his visa, right? His application, right?
I know a lot
He
of
could never go back.
Because they went over there and make the baby.
Right. So, and we have a lot of Guyanese, but there's not the point. I think
but
what
I'm
is...
trying to say, it's not a public hospital.
No, it's not. It's
not.
United States do not have public hospitals.
But I think in all this conversation that we have in here, I wanted to make the point very, very clearly. Healthcare is by no means a very cheap thing. It's very, very expensive, and you're not going to find any hospital that has all the drugs all the time. But it doesn't mean that we don't have problems with our healthcare system here. You got people thieving it, workers thieving it, thieving the people them drugs, open the old pharmacy.
But generally the third world, because of the...
That's not a point too, because the other day I saw on news on CBS, where this guy, it was the International Daughter's Day, right? And he was taking his daughter, to give her a nice treat for that day. And some, those crazy people on the road, the man shy something and hit him in his eye. And the man, he get blind with one of his eyes.
That's in the U.S.?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's on CBS.
There's so many like that in the U.S., yeah.
Exactly. And the guy... He said he went to, because the news people interview him, and he said he went to, because his eyes was bleeding and the blood was just pouring, So he went to Jamaica Hospital. This is like what they consider as a public hospital, which you have to pay. And you know what a guy said? He had to wait 8 hours for them to look at him to do a surgery for his eye. And eventually, you know what the doctor told him? He lost his one eye.
Oh my.
The doctor told him that if you could manage to live with one eye, maybe if he had a surgery earlier, probably they could have saved his eyes. Who knows?
Well, the only thing we could do here is continue
So
to
every
agitate.
country have problems.
Yes, I agree.
Oh God, sorry, I shouldn't say oh God, I'm not a believer. Oh my lady, every country got problems. Some country got mountains of problems than others. The United States got more problems than the whole world put together.
Yeah, I like you. You said something there. I like you. You said something there. Don't attack my country. I don't like people attack my country.
I am not.
But you have to walk on.
I am not visiting the U.S. I don't know if I'll get a visa, but I'm not going in the New York subway at 11 o'clock.
You want me to take you on a trip?
No, not me.
You want me to take you on a trip
me.
on vacation?
Not me.
You want a visa?
If I want a visa,
I can't guarantee.
I don't want a visa. When I'm ready to go, I will apply for a visa. If they don't give me it, so be it.
I just go. But guess why I go? I just go to upkeep my residency because I love my country.
Yeah, you want nobody to attack your country, right?
Everything, easy accessible. But at the end of the day, I love my country. I come home back. I have my home. I feel comfortable in my home. I don't cry out. I know the little blackout and them thing is, fatigue you. But we get accustomed to
Don't ride the subway. Don't ride the New York subway. Please don't.
Why?
She's going to lose her life or she's going to get beat up. You haven't been reading the news.
No, you can't myself, Freddie Kissoon. I love the subway.
A lot of bombs is on the street.
But listen to this guy now. He loves the subway. It means he hasn't been reading what's happening in the New York subway. He's too busy making money to read what's happening in the New York subway. Anyway, thanks for coming through.
Another point I tried to make. I don't really get into politics and watching things on Facebook.
Well, get into politics now. Let's hear you.
What I'm so upset about is that I'm seeing this guy that's named Brian Max. I don't really follow him, but when people share stuff on the thing, why would he be talking like threatening the vice president that he tap his phone and he have recording with him?
Madam, don't go any further. Social media has given rise to all kinds of people. You shouldn't pay any attention to. No, don't pay any attention. People come and say all kinds of things.
I saw a video. I don't know how true it is.
I saw that video.
The man walk up to the critic fence and pee in critic fence. I can't believe it.
Madam, don't dignify some of these very weird people on social media.
Thanks for coming through. I like the fact that you said you don't want nobody to attack your country. You're a good woman. I like that.
All right, thanks for coming through.
So I just talking that is very concerning and disturbing for things being like that.
All right, bye-bye. Thanks for coming through. Let's take some calls. Time is coming.
Thanks. I like that lady. The lady said she don't want nobody to attack your country. I like that. Good evening, caller.
Brian Max.
I don't want you to attack me. How you doing, my brother? Go ahead.
I was watching, I listened to a lot of the caller that talking.
Yes, go ahead.
The lady is still on the line?
No, she's gone.
She's gone.
Oh.
Yeah, go on.
Yes, I was listening to all the callers and I was saying, regarding medical coming to America, I don't know for some reason that if somebody have a medical problem in Guyana and they have a visa to come in America, they come. Hello?
Yes, go ahead. You continue. Raise a point.
Yeah. They come to America and they take care of themselves and they go back.
So what is the issue?
They don't pay a dime.
But if the system catches them, because I'm not sure which hospital they're going to. If the system catches them, they're going to be paying the price.
I don't know about that, but I know a lot of people that do this.
No, no, but hold on. There's a loophole in the system in America. If you go there, you could take out an insurance, and if anything happens to you while you're there, or you want to go seek medical help, that insurance covers you. You have that option, but you have to be insured, and it takes a little while before you get that insurance, maybe about a
How
week
you
or two.
be insured if you're not working in America?
Boss man, I can only tell you what the girl just tell me. I happened to learn this over the weekend, and I'm going to verify it. I'm going to come back on Monday. She got an insurance. She went across there, and she is not a citizen there, and she got it. And it's not fraud.
If you work in America, you're paying tax, and you did not have insurance, you cannot go to a doctor. Like people come in.
That is not true, sir. Please don't let us go down there. I was in New York, and I got a call from the insurance company this just after the COVID period, and they wanted to give us coverage for the temporary time that we were staying there.
Anyway,
please find out.
Time is going on. Thanks for coming through, sir. Thanks for coming through.
You say you give certain people time to talk. You can't give me. I just talk less than a minute.
Well, we going on. Time is going on. Okay, go ahead. But we got 4 minutes more. Go on.
I'm telling you that people come in from Guyana to America with just have a visa and come and take care of themselves for free.
Okay.
But American cannot go to Guyana have the same facility.
What is the complaint? You have an issue with Guyanese going to use American system?
Excuse me, sir. Anybody visiting Guyana could go to the public hospital or any public hospital and get treatment. Anybody in the world in Guyana, if they're sick, they can go to the public hospital. They don't ask you for your citizenship.
To die.
What?
To die.
I don't understand. What is the complaint that you have?
So we got to go. You had your say. We got to go. Thanks for coming through. We got 3 minutes more. So we got to go. Thanks for coming through.
Okay.
Just in case you just join us.
3 more minutes.
On Monday, we have 2 Muslim scholars that will give the Palestinian perspective of what's happening in the Gaza. So make sure you tune in on Monday. Make sure you be with us on Monday night to hear the Palestinian side of the story.
Okay. Good evening, caller. Hello?
Hi. Hello?
Yes, go right ahead, please. Yes, you're onto the show. Go right ahead, please.
I just want to talk with the guy just called with the medical in New York. In America, in New York, right? It's free medical for anybody that enters this country.
That's what I'm aware of. You could get medical. They call you. They're very aggressive with that.
We have 2 million beds who just came to this country and they get free medical. So that person who's talking that nonsense there, right? People come and get free medical in America. America does not refuse anybody to get free medical. But I don't understand what he's talking about.
Yeah. Look, the hospitals are thing by virtue of policy in the United States. You walk in sick, they're obligated to treat you, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to get a bill. Pardon?
They can't refuse you.
No, they cannot. They cannot.
Refuse you.
Right. But they actually have some mechanisms under the policies of the United States government in which you could get insurance.
We have 2 million Venezuelans in this country. And they get a free medical, they get a free schooling, everything.
I don't think that's the issue. The issue is whether the Americans does it. But go ahead. Thank you very much for coming through. Bye. Very quickly, I think last call. Let us see. We missed that one there. Freddie, we have just about a minute left. Let's take this last call. Good evening, caller. Hello.
Hello.
Please take off whatever you're listening to, and very quickly, we're out of time almost.
Oh man.
please tune on your volume, Saul.
Take off your volume.
Time has caught up on us. You're wasting precious time. Saul. No. We gotta go. Look, there's a call here.
Yeah, Freddie?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm calling about this issue with the insurance thing. I see you guys talking about the medical insurance, right? Okay, so now here's the deal. In New York, I'm living in New York, so I know what's the deal. I can tell you exactly what's going on. Now, I don't know if you guys know. Now, anybody come to any hospital in New York, and whatever status you are, heart pain, any emergency, or it don't have to be emergency, and you go there, they take care of you. And when you figure out that you come with a visitor's visa, there's a program for that. The hospital get payment. The government have a different system for that. So my cousin came up, and the man was diagnosed. He got a leukemia problem, and he was in Georgetown Hospital for like 4 weeks, and they couldn't diagnose the problem there. And they have a visa, and they decide to come up and just go to the hospital. The man tell them his complaint, and he's here still now getting treatment. And he applied to the immigration because he only had a 6-month stay, and they grant him the stay to continue his treatment.
And he is utilizing that on the program of the United States government.
On the United States government, yes, exactly.
Thank you very much. I'm going to do some research, but I am familiar because I was over there and we received a call, and my kids and everything, they wanted to put us some kind of insurance. And that was during when the COVID and so on, just after the COVID period. But thank you very much. We're out of time now. Thank you very much.
I understand. Yeah, there is a system for that, like you said. There's an insurance you could buy into, or like your relatives they could buy into as a visitor.
Yes, I'm aware of that. But thank you very much. Thank you for coming through, sir. Bye-bye.
Yeah, sure. You guys have a good night. Good program, man. All right.
Thank you. Bye. Once a good night to all our overseas people, and of course, can't miss out. Don't bad-tag the Guyanese people, all our local listeners here. It's always a pleasure. Freddie Kissoon, very quickly.
Well, as I said before, please tune in Monday evening, when 2 top-class Islamic scholars are going to explain the Palestinian issue differently from what the Western media is portraying. So join us Monday evening for another view that you need to get, but you don't normally get from the Western media. And then Wednesday, we have 2 interesting guests. So on behalf of myself, thanks for being with us. Leonard Gildarie will close the program. Catch you later.
Thank you very much, dear Freddie, and we out of time. Got to send them our operators. The change starts with us. We could continue to complain, and we could continue to say and criticize, but we need to start doing something. Folks, let's make this country into a beautiful place. It starts with us. Have a good weekend. Be safe on our roadways.